Right, okay, guys, welcome along. It is the show this morning, and welcome along to another live stream. Now, I did a live stream a couple of days ago, wasn't very good on sound. In fact, it was awful. So, if anyone can let me know as you're coming in um, exactly how I'm sounding, basically, really, would be great. So, today's topics, what I want to speak to today is about Arsenal um, contracts, basically. But first, what we'll do is we'll go over a little bit of Isak news, not breaking or anything really, but you know, I find it incredible just how Sky Sports are so behind everything. It's just unbelievable how behind they are. But what we do know is Alexander Isak has spent 3 hours, 3.5 hours at the training ground this morning after returning from Spain. He's been getting treatment on a thigh issue. Take that with a pinch of salt, really, I think. And Eddie Howe and the players have a day off after landing at 9 a.m. this morning from South Korea. Obviously, a long flight, so that's understandable. So basically, there'll be no talks between Isak and Eddie Howe today. It was reported there may be a bit of that going on, but it doesn't look like that's going to really happen. Um, and Dave O'Cock gave something. Don't know how what a very reliable source he is, but if I can find that. Um, Going along the same lines, that. Um, Let me just see if I can find it now. There won't be anything happening today with regards to talks between Oscar. Now, Oscar, can you hear me? I just want to know if my sound is okay because I've issues with sound and what have you. Nice to see you. Thanks for always supporting my channel. I really do appreciate it. You always come in. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I was just saying that obviously with Isak, it appears like there's not going to be any talks today or anything with Eddie Howe. So I think that's we can put that one to bed in terms of actually anything, any communication wise. He's been into the ground type of thing. And the question I'm asking is, should we give Arne Slot a new contract soon or, at the end of the season kind of thing? Because I've been thinking about this. And if you think about it, if you look at uh, Borussia Dortmund, sorry, not Borussia Dortmund, it's the German club where we've just got thinking from Bayer Leverkusen. If you think what's going on there right now, it's quite interesting, really, because I've been following it a little bit to see how Ten Hag will fit in over there. They lost 5-1 to Flamenco. Lots of players are doing a mass exodus now, and not too many people are buying into his ideas. And the reason I'm saying I'm lagging a bit, am I? Yeah, this is my problem. I'm going to probably have to invest at some point in a bit more of a powerful laptop, I reckon, at some because I do find that most of the software just doesn't really uh, cut it for this thing I get. So it's actually rubbish. But anyway, so what's my train of thought there? So Ten Hag at Leverkusen has come in there. We've seen Shaka be prepared to leave and go to Scotland, and we've seen quite a lot of unrest with players. I've been reading, really. They're not doing particularly well pre-season. Now, I'm not trying to diss Ten Hag particularly. Not my point. My point is, in the last 2 years, where Leverkusen have been, right at the top of the tree in Germany, almost on a flawless sort of treble without even losing a game, to now players leaving. Obviously, we've got Verts, we've got Frimpong. So what I'm trying to say is, so quickly things can change in football because we're at the top of the tree right now. Yeah. There's no two ways about it. We've had an unbelievable window. Everybody we are signing wants to come to Liverpool. We're not signing anyone that doesn't want to come. That we are their first choice. They want to be here. They want to actually come and play for Liverpool, and they were even turning down everybody else to come and play for Liverpool. Yeah. So let's do a quick recap on Arne Slot really as our manager. He's come in from Feyenoord last year. Most of us, if not all of us, but pretty much most of us, didn't even know who he was, or hadn't we'd perhaps heard of him, but we didn't know really much about him. We thought it was a strange move from the club. We were all a bit worried, and that kind of thing. How is this all going to work? Following on from Klopp, he's come in now in his one of his very early press conferences that I saw with him. He said he'd watched 100 videos of Liverpool from last season, including their matches, but also their training sessions. So he'd obviously been doing a lot of, even came through the doors at the club, yeah, over the summer. Then when he gets to the club, he's obviously leaving his wife and he's leaving his kids behind because they're in their last year of school. He didn't want to upset them. So that was a big move for him, admittedly. But what we had was a very focused man. He when asked what does he do when he goes home, he says it's just more football for me. So when we look through the season and how well we played and what we achieved, it's actually no surprise to me anyway that we actually did win the league in the end because he was so meticulous all the way through with everything. At the same time, it was appearing that Richard Hughes. Oh, let's back up a little bit and let's go to the actual number 6 thing because we obviously wanted to get in Zubimendi. Deal was basically done as far as we knew. Then he just at the last minute decides, you know what, I want to stay here in the mountains. Fine, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. But that left the problem of the 6. So then Slot pivots to which none of us saw coming really, by the way. Well, I didn't anyway. And what a number 6 we had. But every single game, you're seeing 3 or 4 changes to the way in which we play, or we're changing in second halves, where there's so many changes going on through the game, the things that Slot sees, or he's getting them into the half time, and then he's uh, changing things around, or we just come out and we just play totally different second halves to the first half, and it come a bit of a theme that most of us fans were saying, "Well, look at how we are from first half to second half." But that's what it was. It was completely Jurgen Klopp's team, but Slot tweaked it and got the best out of it. Now we've got to this summer, and we're having this unbelievable window. I mean, in the years I've been supporting the club, I can't remember a window this good. If we do get Isak over the line, that is it. I think it's just going to probably be the best ever window. We know he spoke directly to Verts, and it's just amazing. It really is. Unclocking sort of here, just suddenly two. Two or three were on a certain channel. Um, so the reason to get with all this have always made a lot of their managers. Really says their device unexpectedly stopped. So we're just see what's in there. That seems to be to do with the microphone. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. I think I've got a connection fault with the with that. You can hear me, guys. Really appreciate it if you just let me know that. Yeah, okay. No, it's a device unexpectedly stopped. Right, okay, let's just do away with. Hopefully, you can hear me just normally now. Yeah, I'm lagging. Okay, thanks, Oscar. Now I've just disconnected the microphone. So can you just let me know if you can hear me better now without the microphone lagging so much? You can just let me know that. Where was I? So yeah, I think once all these signings are done and everything, even if the season's kicked off, because I think we could just do a new deal for the manager anytime. I think we need to narrow down to a longer contract. We don't want any. What I'm trying to say is, over the years, what marked a great club is always being ahead of the game. We've got to make sure that we keep this man, for one. Why would he want to go anywhere else, you might ask yourself? Well, it's happened before. So, and also, I want to speak a bit about Richard, what we had with Richard was, now it's better. Okay, thanks, Oscar. So obviously that microphone is actually interfering with it as much as anything. Okay, thank you. So I'll just recap a little bit, because I don't know if half of you could hear me actually before. The point I'm trying to make here is, once all the signings are done, even if the season's off and running, this can still go on in the background. We've done that before with even Klopp. Should we be giving Arne Slot a new contract? I think it's on a 3-year deal. We need to get him onto a longer contract, and maybe even some incentives for the guys that are doing so much work on our transfer. So I'm talking about Richard Hughes now, because last summer and then right through the whole year, we just thought nothing was happening. And this is a common theme which we're seeing a lot with Liverpool at the moment, with regards to, we're starting to see that actually there's a grander plan been going on at Liverpool than we may think when we were a sell to buy model. I'm not saying that the owners I'm not trying to come to the defense of the owners in everything, because of course we know they haven't been perfect on everything. But the expansion of the stadium, the training facilities, increasing our revenue, increasing our sponsorship, all these things to take us into a much bigger club in terms of our revenue side than we actually were. So we've got the heritage, we've got the club. What we needed was having had owners before these owners that almost bankrupted us. It's taken a long time to get us back up there. Now we are where we are, and we're playing with the big boys now, and we can afford to have these kinds of transfer windows now. I'm not saying we'll be doing this every year, because of course we won't be, but to have a transfer window as good as this is just kind of amazing, really. So that's my point. My point is, should we be getting another contract for Arne Slot before the time comes where, at the end of the day, it becomes more of an issue? So going back to Richard Hughes, obviously he's come in last summer. We don't get Zubimendi over the line. That's the first thing to be said there, which I don't think was actually any thought on his part. He was very angry apparently because of it, because it was all gone through and everything, but it didn't happen. Then all summer long, with the contracts and everything to Salah, Van Dijk, and of course Trent, we was all wondering to ourselves, so what is actually this guy coming around, getting everything prepared and ready for this summer? Because what we're starting is, we've had incredibly good communication with every single person we've brought in. There's been communication behind the scenes that's been going on to build up to the point of when we sign in all these players. And that's why a lot of people believe that Isak is even done. Yeah, it's basically a thing playing out for the media, for the fans. The fans are the most important at any club, and Newcastle have to come out of this with the best face they possibly can where Isak's concerned. So they're trying to do their part in terms of damage limitation because he's going to be coming to us, but they've got to still perform and do the best they can to make it look as if, you know, oh, he didn't want to, he wouldn't sign, he just wanted to leave, blah blah, going all of that stuff which we've seen being played out in the um, that we've been seeing being played out in the media stuff. So this is a big season for Arne Slot, of course, because now he's brought in his own players, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on him and on the club to perform well because we've not only spent a lot of money, we've bought in very high quality players. So he's going to have to really perform high, and I'm sure he will. Oscar says, let's see how Arne does this season. To have so much quality in the squad is one thing, but to make the team out of it's a different story. That is very true. That is very, very true. Just because we brought in all these players and they all have to work together. The thing I've noticed with Arne Slot, he hates losing, and especially when it matters. Yeah, I mean, we saw obviously at the end of the season when it didn't matter, he didn't seem quite so bothered about losing. But generally speaking, with Arne Slot, he wants to win, he wants to do well, and he wants to, he wants us to do, he wants us to obviously win at all costs. So I personally slightly disagree with Oscar in that I think I've seen enough of him to know what a great manager he is, and I just think that even before the end of the season, we should be offering him a new contract, really. But then again, he could start the season and things are not right. A lot of people are wondering about the changes that have been made and all this kind of thing. I just think he's shown enough tactically for me. And I just feel that with these kind of players that are elevated in their standard, in their quality, I just think we're going to have to be successful. We do have to see how we do at the back, of course, in our defensive areas. In a bit of Isak news, I haven't got any major bombers or anything relating to him, but only to say that in my personal opinion, I think that he will come to Liverpool. I think it is a long way done, if not completely done, personally speaking. I think the situation is pretty untenable now with him at Newcastle. And I think he will become a Liverpool player. I think that's what most of us do believe. I was thinking there might be talks today, but it appears, as I was reading out at the beginning, that Isak has come in and trained and gone home. This whole thing around the injury thing, I'm not too sure about what that's about. I think the injury thing could be something. It could just be a smoke screen, so they don't have to play him. Not that they're going to play him anyway, but my point is, if he's not seen playing, they don't have to say, "Oh." It's an easier excuse to make in press conferences when he's not playing because he's carrying an injury. But I'm pretty sure there is no injury, really. It's a common thing. Lots of managers do it. Lots of teams do it. Lots of clubs do it. But a player's on his way out because obviously they're going to have another, probably one or two pre-season friendlies, I don't know. And he's obviously not going to be in the squad and he's not going to be playing. So they have to come up with an answer as to why he's not there if Newcastle are coming out with the line that, oh, he's not for sale, which is what they've been maintaining all the way along, even though we know he is. So games are being played out here all over. Don't worry too much about the injury thing. Don't worry too much that he hasn't met Eddie Howe today. Eddie Howe just got off a flight, long-haul flight. I mean, if he'd been out east and done them 10, 11-hour, 12-hour long-haul flights, they are tiring. And so I'm not surprised he hasn't met with him this morning. I think they only landed at 9 anyway, so it would have been bit of a stretch to get him in there, and so they'll probably meet tomorrow or one day. Now, the way this can play out now, and I think there's two possibilities, but I think the possibility is that let me just go over the two. The two are: one, he could put in a transfer request to really make it categoric. Now, he'll lose his bonuses, he'll lose his wages, he'll lose all of that stuff. I think I'm right in saying that when you hand in a transfer request, because you're basically going against your contract, aren't you? That's one angle, but that will make it quite final for him, obviously being at the club. In that case, if that happens, then he won't even be at the club at all. He'll just be waiting at home or wherever to see how Liverpool get on in terms of finalising the deal. Or number two opportunity, or number two possibility, is that he will be obviously training as normal, carrying on as normal at the club, and behind the scenes, Liverpool and Newcastle will be doing their bits to get the deal over the line. And I think that's probably what's going to be happening, in my personal opinion, unless the club start getting very heavy with, refusing these bids, because every time they refuse a bid, it's a categoric no, and it's just kind of like, he ain't, because their line has always been he's not for sale. So my point there is, if he comes out with the line of, if we put in a second bid and it's treated with exactly the same way as the first one was, he's not for sale, don't come to us, that kind of line, then he may end up putting in a transfer request to push things along a bit more. I don't know what the talkings are, of course, behind the scenes on that. But either way, I think we get our man. I reckon this is the week another bid will go in. A lot of people are saying tomorrow possibly is when another bid is going to go in. I'm thinking it might be more like Wednesday or Thursday. I think it'll be done after those talks with Eddie Howe, not because Liverpool have any worries about that, but I just think all the way along, Liverpool have been pretty good in all of this, really, in terms of Curtis' point of view. So I don't know, but I personally think that that's what will probably happen. So Thursday, another bid will go in, higher than the one that's been on already, of course. So I reckon the one will go in for about 125, 130 with add-ons, and then I think we go from there. It'll get rejected again, I believe. And many people think there's going to be two or three bids that will get rejected, but I think we'll settle on a figure, and I don't even think it will go up much from the second one. I think from the one we put in now or coming up will be the one that'll be very close to how the deal will be completed. That's my opinion. So we just have to wait and see on that. All the other business, we've obviously got Darwin Núñez interested in possibly AC Milan and of course Saudi. We're all hoping he probably goes to Saudi, to be quite honest. We'll get more money out of him probably. I'm not even too sure if AC Milan can actually afford him, by the way. But if he's always been there for Isak. So many people have said to me, Sean, don't you feel we need to sell Núñez, Isak? I don't think so. I think it's always been there. I think the negotiations for that have been going on for so long. We'll be already on top of that one. If we manage to sell Núñez, then I feel that Rodrigo, because there's a lot of talk about Rodrigo, and I still think Liverpool are interested in him. I don't think we're desperate for him, but I think there's still talk about him, and I think he's another one that could come in. So expect to hear something about Rodrigo coming up if we sell Núñez and we get Isak. I think that's the way it is. It'll go Isak. If we get Isak in and Núñez goes, I think Rodrigo will come in as well. That's what I believe. If we don't get Isak by some miracle over the line, then I think we pivot to Rodrigo anyway. But I believe if we don't get him in this window, I think we'll definitely go back for Isak in January. Either way, where he's our number one target, that's not going to change. We're going to be pursuing him, whatever. As to how much getting rid of other players affects what we do, how much them bringing in players forwards affects what it's going to be. I'm not 100% sure, because I think they'll definitely probably get Weiser over the line with a higher deal. I think that one, he's so segregated from the team now, not even turning up for training and the like. I reckon that's easily a situation where they could get him over the line. But then it's just about whether Sesko goes. I think Sesko will be, if I'm being really, really honest. My head would say, obviously, my heart would say, let's hope he goes to Newcastle, but my head is probably saying that he probably goes to Man United, if they can get money somewhere near the figures, of course, which is another aspect of all of this. Anyway, that's about it. That's all I wanted to really say today, guys. I want to start doing a lot more live stuff. I'm hoping to collab with a few other creators as well to, to sort of expand this channel. And so if you're tuning in for the first time, please like and subscribe to the channel. I really, really appreciate it. So I'll catch you on the next one. So just to recap then, should we give Arne Slot, if you watch this after it's been live, do you think we should be giving Arne Slot a new contract before either the season starts or during this coming season, or do you feel we should leave it to the end of this season and see how he performs this season? The reason I'm saying it is because he's only gone down to a 2-year. I just feel like when I see things around what's going on with how clubs that are in such great position, how fast in football things can change if you don't get all your ducks in a row, and you don't get all your business sorted. And I think obviously Arne Slot is an important part of that now. He's just won us the league. You know what I mean? And he's been absolutely brilliant since he's been here. So, so see you, Oscar. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you too. And I shall catch you on the next one, guys.